Chris Hani Memorial and Walk of Remembrance Monument will be unveiled by President Jacob Zuma in Boksburg today. Hani was gunned down in the driveway of his home in Don Park on this day in 1993. We're crossing live now to our colleague, Xoli Mgambi, who's attending the commemoration in Ekurhuleni. Xoli, good morning. A significant day indeed today with the launch of this special Remembrance Memorial in Ekurhuleni in memory of Chris Hani.
Indeed, and that is exactly what's expected to happen here today. President Jacob Zuma will not only unveil that remembrance wall, but also he will declare Chris Hani's grave as a heritage site today. And of course, then I think many people will think that this particular unveiling and declaring of Chris Hani's grave as a heritage site comes at a very delicate time, I suppose, if you want to term it that way, in the country, given what is happening regarding the upheaval in respect of the colonial statues that are being attacked all around the country at the moment.
And of course, many South Africans, especially the younger ones, might be grappling today to what kind of legacy is that of Chris Hani for our country today?
Indeed, Dan, a lot of people have already said that Chris Hani had committed himself to the liberation of the many poor black majority in this country, and therefore some are calling for how he should be remembered, saying that rather what possibly should happen is that there should be much more that is done for the poor, because this is the life that he had committed himself to, not just to the liberation of or the attainment of political freedoms, but also the liberation of the people of this country. And so many people calling for not just the monuments being erected in his name, but rather also that there be practical things that are done for the ordinary people of this country.
And of course, many people would remember him that he was a leader of the ANC, Umkhonto season, of course, the South African Communist Party. He actually never put himself up first. He always worked in the name of the collective.
Indeed, Dan. Chris Hani was actually elected into the General Secretary of the SACP in 1991, and you can imagine he only led for less than 2 years, really, before he was assassinated by the Polish national Janusz Walus. And of course, as you say, that Chris Hani never put himself up for any position. Indeed, that is exactly what some of his fellow comrades have told us in the past, that Chris Hani never really put himself up for anything. If anything, he committed himself to fighting for the liberation of this country. And that's why many of them were saying that actually he perhaps would have seen not just the fall of apartheid, but perhaps would have led the people of this country in another capacity, perhaps in that of a president. So a lot of expectation, a lot was expected rather of Chris Hani as a leader of the people.
Thank you very much, Xoli Mgambi, out there in Ekurhuleni ahead of that memorial service to honor Chris Hani, who was assassinated today 22 years ago.